So here we have our two. I'm going to put me up here for a minute. Here we have our two bad guys. Our two major patterns, okay, diatonic patterns. For pentatonic, you just, don't play the 7 and the 4th. For triads, you do play the root, the 3rd, and the 5th. For minor triads, you play the root, the 3rd, and the 6th. And then you do the substitution for of the 4th string shapes for the 4th, and the substitution for the 5th string shape for the 3rd. We're going to cover that. So these are the patterns. Remember, the long pattern goes off to the right, plays away from the fret nut. The short pattern goes off to the left somewhat, so be careful. You have to be at least 1, because it's only going to go up 6 strings. So you have to be on fret number 1 at least to play the short pattern. So let's look at that. Let's look at an E shape. So if we start on an E shape, it'd start on this 7, and it's going to go up to this 7. So if we call that 7 root 2, so down here, this is my C note, so C is the 7th of D flat. It'd be like playing in D flat. Okay, so it's 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4. There's our bottom 4P4 tuning. Now we have to warp up for 5, 6. I just know that by heart. And then 7 root 2. So we have to play at least 1 fret up from the capo or the fret nut to play the short patterns, because in 6 they're not going to go that way that much. As a matter of fact, if we go around the circle of 4ths, they actually start going to the right. If you can believe that. You think about it. If we start on the C pattern, C, 4th of C is F, the 4th of F is B flat, 4th of B flat, C flat, the 4th of E flat is A flat, right? 4th of E flat is A flat. I thought we did that already. And then D flat, then G flat, then we have to go to B. So when we want to go to B, the C, the 4th of the C shape, the A shape C is the D shape. We're going to go to this, and we want to go to the E again. The 4th of the D shape is the G shape up here. See how we moved up and we're going to the right? We're not going to the left, because at one point we had this E flat and then we had the E. I got you up there. 1, it goes 1, believe me, it keeps going, because we found out it's going the opposite way. So that's if you're doing circle of 4ths. But if you're just going up 6 strings, it's only going to move over 1 fret. So you want to play from at least fret 1, unless you want to do an adjustment and play the long patterns. Alright, now let's look at chart 261 again. I have a little fix on it from yesterday. Back here in this side corner here. With this particular long pattern, now we've simplified the long pattern. We're not showing the entire S4E into the long pattern. We're just showing the lead in a few of them. So we have everything here, because guess what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have everything. Root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root. Okay, so we have everything in this diagram. We didn't have to show the entire S4E and the entire S4E on the top and the bottom. Yesterday I had forgot to, so I made a correction here. So I highlighted this C, which is the F sharp, and I highlighted, we don't play the 3rd when we're doing the minor sub 3 to C substitution to get the half diminished. Does this look like a half diminished? This looks like some sort of code in computer or something, where you get hexadecimal, or you start to use letters, C6 root, C6 root C, that kind of thing. That's not what it is. If you look at this from the C as the fourth, C is the fourth of G. So if we're playing in a G shape up here, let's say we're going to play a G shape C. Okay, so this is our big G shape C up here. If I put the capo way up here, because we are doing the long pattern here. So pretend this is a G, but it's really a C. Okay? If we want to play the half diminished in this position, all right, we're going to do the fourth string shape. So it's C, G, D, A, E. And indeed, the fourth is obtained by moving the G shape up. So see, the G shape's just been moved up one. What replaces it is its string shape fourth. Because remember, string shapes go down in fourths and up in fifths. They're different than strings, which go up in fourths except for the third, and then down in fifths except for the augmented fifth there. So so as you know, G is the augmented fifth of B. Here's the fifth of B. Here's B to G. Okay, so it's an augmented fifth going down. It's a diminished fourth going up, G to B. Okay, that's string-wise, but string shapes are different. Our string shapes are different. So here we have basically the same thing, except in this diagram, we're reading it direct off of the P4 pattern. Now, I made a little error yesterday. I said we're taking it directly off here. Usually I reserve taking it directly, like play it as you see it, for when we have an actual fretboard. Okay, so this is an actual fretboard. We could take, let's look at the G box here. Where's G? We could take it directly off here because it has the tuning third right here, usually. But in this case, I was just applying the same concept where we could take it directly off the pattern. So if we're looking at half diminished here, we can read, half diminished, as you know, if you have root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root, then half diminished is going to be 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And its little triad's going to go 7, 2, 4. So that's what I'm talking about, reading it directly off here. 4, 7, 2, 4. 7, 2, 4. 7, 2, 4. That kind of thing. That's what I'm talking about, reading it directly off. But it's still an unwarped pattern. It's all P4. The tuning warp could occur anywhere depending on which shape we start on. So, and of course those shapes are going to travel across the fretboard. If you just want to play different shapes from the same note, it'll be like when we're working with the dot, then we'd get 5 different keys, I believe. The keys of caged. C-A-G-E in the key of D. So this is reading directly off where we've got 4, 7, 2, 4, and on and on and on. 7, 2, 4. But this is with the substitution. It's looking at this C, this group of 6 strings here, so we're not going to be looking at this. So let me get a little blue on my palette a second, and we'll just get rid of the top string. So now we have our 6 strings here in the C box. It's also going into the long pattern here. Okay, so with the warp, if we really want to look at it strictly, we're going to have to warp this over. And it's going to warp to the right so that when it plays, because we got a down tuned string there on